Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you some beautiful, cozy, very seasonally appropriate fabrics. Now, I will need to mention my beautiful poinsettia in the background. Doesn't quite go with my whole decor, but I am currently on winter break, and that is a gift from a lovely student and family, so I figured I'd put it in the background to snazz things up a little bit as we are in the holiday season. I hope you're well. I hope that you are close to getting a few days off, even if you can't spend it super close with the people that you want to or normally do, that you find something lovely to do and just like, you know, take care of yourself, right? I have got some beautiful, cozy, super snuggly fabrics, like I said, and I do want to start off by mentioning that I am usually not an online fabric shopper, but all of these are actually from online stores, and that's a couple of reasons. Number one, loads of places are closed right now, and you can't go out to get stuff, you know, that's just what it is. But also because of the quarantine over the last couple of months, various stages of quarantine, many shops have now really upped their online game. Some places that were previously not on the interwebs now have a storefront, and I think as a whole that is wonderful. I am usually a person that needs to go in store and touch the fabrics. For me, that's how I shop, that's how I envision things. The tactile quality, the fiber content, the body, the drape, the smoothness or not against the skin is super important. It helps me think about how my final garment or project will turn out. So prior to this, I had actually never shopped online. But over the past couple of months since quarantine and all this jazz, I've been doing a lot of online fabric shopping with mostly success. So I'm really excited to show you these things. I do also want to mention that I will have all of the links to the fabric shops down below in the information bar, so please don't forget to check that out if you're interested in any of these things in particular. I can't promise all of them are still available. Some of them definitely will not be, because I've been shopping a lot from a local textile recycling shop / program called Our Social Fabric. They're located in the greater Vancouver area, and actually Helen, those of you in the sewing community, Helen from Helen's Closet took me to my very first Our Social Fabric sale or pop-up shop, and I've been kind of in love with it, but it's a bit of a trek and it's hard to find, and you know, you gotta lug it back yourself. So now that they've gone online, I've been doing quite a bit of shopping over there, but they've got great stuff. They take I guess fabric either from home sewists or local garment or textile manufacturers that have end of the roll or offcuts or, you know, stuff like that. They take donations and then they put them back out into the world for sale, and often at incredibly reasonable prices. If you are really on it, you can find silks, you can find wools. This time of the year, wools are awesome. I have quite a bit of that to show you. You can find sometimes merino and cashmere and all the nice stuff. And for me, I've been really looking at updating my wardrobe in terms of fabrics that I prefer to wear, not just fabric I have to wear, because that was what's available at my price point in the shop. So a lot of these things, although they don't seem super exciting, will be hopefully made into everyday luxuries or elevated basics, as you all hear these terms very often. Okay, let's go and look at the beautiful fabrics. Now, given this time of the year, wool is a great fabric to have around, but I'm not quite so experienced working with wool, even though that's something like I really like the idea of in my head. Buying something that isn't terribly expensive, because wool can be quite pricey, is a great way for me to just dip my toes in there and try it out and see how it behaves. Now granted, wool can come in many different fabric finishes. Wool as a fiber is, you know, one thing, but it can be made into a woven, a knit, loads of things. I bought most of the wool stuff from Our Social Fabric, so I want to start there. This first piece is a wool blend, or that's what it's listed as. If I can find the little tag that has any further fiber content details, I'll put it up somewhere in the video for you. At the time, there were a couple of different colors of this labeled as wool blend, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. When it came in the mail, I was very pleasantly surprised at the thickness of the fabric. I think it's just right. It's not super duper heavy, or it would not feel heavy when you wear it as a garment, where some wools definitely can. It doesn't seem like it frays around the edges, so I can probably get away with a lot of things with this one. This is a knit, interestingly enough, because if I can find an edge for you, surprisingly, when I pull it, it does actually have some stretch. It has okay recovery, so it might actually do as some kind of a pullover, like mid-weight top. I think on Mood Fabrics, they have some kind of a cropped sweatshirt thing that they made in a boiled wool. I wonder if this could go in that direction. I'm not quite sure yet. It's too thick and has too much body to be made into anything that lays directly against bare skin, even though it's not, you know, super scratchy or anything. But I will say probably something like a mid layer or an outer layer. A wool like this is quite versatile because most of the time it doesn't get like super cold here, it's just kind of wet, so I'm sure I can wear this over many different seasons. Now, continuing with our wool journey, I had no idea that wool can be made into fleece. In retrospect, of course it can, right? It can be made into all kinds of things. I've just never seen wool fleece, and I love this tremendously. I won't take it too close to the camera right now. I'll show you a cutaway in a second, but because if I get too close, it messes with the auto exposure of my camera. I'm also trying to stay out of that sliver of afternoon sun getting my face right now. This is super lofty. When you think about a cozy, squishy kind of a sweater, that's what this fleece is like, but it's made with wool, which keeps you so warm, and it's not super heavy either, and I'm really pleased about that part. When I touch and feel this, it has a very similar, if not identical, tactile quality to my Uniqlo Souffle yarn sweater, which I've talked and also complained about in a previous workwear capsule wardrobe video. I will link it down below so you can have a look at that sweater, but I complained that the particular sweater did not wash and wear very well. It contained a high amount of, I believe, polyester, whereas this one is wool, and I think it will wash way better. With all of these fabrics, by the way, as soon as I got them home and had a bit of a collection, I put them all through the wash. I know with wool things you are technically supposed to take them to dry cleaners, but that's not realistic for me even after I made the garment. So I just went ahead and washed all of them as I would if I had, sewn them up into this or that, just so I can get a feel of what the fabric would be like. If it felted, that's fine. If it shrunk, that's fine. I will just work with whatever it ends up being. It went through the wash beautifully, no issues whatsoever, and I love how it's so lofty and squishy. In the cutaway, you can see me continuing to like massage it because it's just so much fun. But anyway, I have about 3 meters of this, which is plenty to make loads of different things. I think if I'm going to replace that Uniqlo sweater, I might end up using the Soho 7 toaster sweater. It has a very similar look, but again, if you have a great recommendation on what I can do with this beautiful charcoal wool fleece, I am all ears. Like, you guys, look at this stretch. Like, what? So good, so good. Let's get into some things that are more for like your inner layers, for like t-shirts, for, I guess these could be made into dresses or things like that as well when the weather gets a bit warmer. I was not super happy with a lot of the base layers, if you will, that I currently have. I have quite a few from Uniqlo and from Old Navy. Uniqlo, I do like them for the most part. The Old Navy ones I buy just for the fit because they make petites, but they really stretch out a lot and I'm not thrilled with the fabric as a whole. I wanted to make some more Tabitha t-shirts. I have one that I wear very often. I've shown that to you before, from the Tilly and the Buttons. I think it's called Sew It Simple or Make It Simple, something like that. I will also link that down below. So I was looking to get some knit fabrics for t-shirts, like of that t-shirt weight, but I didn't want it super thin. I still want good recovery. I still want some thickness and opacity and winter weight if possible. Now, that's not always easy to find when you're shopping online. Loads of places will list the GSM of fabric, and in theory, you know, the higher the GSM, the thicker, weightier it is, but there is still some like mystery around that until you actually get it home in your hands. The two that I have to show you next are great, and I really think I just lucked out here. I've got two. I think this one is just listed as bamboo knit, and it's more of a taupey color. I don't wear this shade very often, but I also recently purchased a pattern from Chalk&Notch called the Pony Tank, and I think something in this type of drape and thickness is exactly what the Pony Tank will be best in. You don't want something super thin. This is so stretchy and super smooth. It almost has like a silky quality to it. This is the stuff that I think, in my opinion, you would want all your nice like pajamas and like your nice, you know, undergarments, underwear, all that stuff to be made of. It's just, it's almost got a silky hand to it, super smooth, beautiful drape. As you can see, this would actually make a really lovely wrap dress. I'm not thrilled about the color, but it was a good price and I wanted to experiment with the fabric and just with the pattern more as a wearable muslin, and this was such a great steal. And the fabric quality ended up being perfect. So if they have any more of this pop up in different colors, I'm definitely getting some. Again, I'm not super experienced working with t-shirt weight knit, so I have to just play around and take it slow and just see what we end up with. But look at this, you guys. Like, how nice is this stuff? So good. Okay, more bamboo. Bamboo seems to be quite a popular, I guess, fiber content that goes up often on the Our Social Fabric site. By the way, I'm still working through the stuff I have from Our Social Fabric because I bought a few orders. But they just have such nice stuff. And of course, you know, thanks to the people who have like donated the nice stuff, so I can then buy it at a better price, but also keep it out of landfills. So that's how I'm thinking about it in my head. This one is thicker. This one has a brushed quality to it. I don't want to say it pills, but it's definitely brushed. So there is some like fibers that you can see on the surface of the fabric. Again, in the cutaway, you will see that a lot better. I'm trying not to hold all these super close. It's going to mess with the camera and the auto settings. Again, gorgeous drape. This is labeled as a bamboo cotton jersey, but it's certainly a mid-weight jersey. The color is something I wear often. It's a dark gray, very versatile. I was surprised by how, I don't want to say thick, but I guess it is thick. It's a medium to slightly heavier weight fabric. Again, beautiful fluidity. Would be lovely as a wrap top or a wrap dress. It's less smooth than the other fabric, but still very slinky, if you will. A lot of stretch, really great recovery, as you can tell. I'm hoping this will not stretch out, being made into something like a t-shirt, maybe even a t-shirt dress. I have quite a bit of this. Oh, so good, you guys. I am really excited to sew with these fabrics in particular and just make some really nice basics I can wear day in and day out and just be like a part of my everyday basics wardrobe. Okay, I hope you're still with me because I do realize this video will end up being quite long. since I have quite a bit to say about each one of these fabrics. I try to do this so that you can get an idea of what you can use some of these fabrics for should you find something similar. I know some of you watch my videos and you are like thinking about getting to sewing and you're not super experienced, so I'm hoping that talking a bit more about the fabrics can help you guys out that way. So let's get into some sweatshirt type of knits. Sweatshirt weight fabric can come in very different qualities and weights and coziness, I guess. And I really lucked out again with the two that I chose. I had hummed and hawed over which ones I would get. When they are listed, they often just say hoodie knit or sweatshirt knit. Sometimes they'll tell you if it's fleece back or loop back. I personally prefer a loop back instead of fleece, because with the fleece is almost always white or light color, and then I can't wear a dark shirt and it bothers me. But that's just a personal thing. I have this quite weighty sweatshirt knit. I think they call it a hoodie knit when it was listed, but it's a gorgeous weight. It's really the type of stuff that you would pay a lot of money for when it's made up into a sweatshirt suit or something like that, some kind of a coordinating set. I think this will be really nice for, like, yeah, I don't know, would I make it into a set of a top and a bottom? I might do that, but certainly I'm going to make a sweatshirt out of this. I actually previously bought some very similar weight and style type of fabric from Dresso, which is where I normally would go, and it's got the same backing but in a different color. So I also recently purchased the Tessuti Fabrics Lennox sweatshirt, and it has some color blocking details, so I might do that with some of the fabric I already have. They seem like a very similar weight. This is definitely medium to heavy weight. It will not, you know, make like fibers on your dark clothes because it's not fleece. It's just more of a loopy back. It doesn't have a lot of stretch and recovery, but I think it will still keep you plenty cozy. Like how cute is this? I just love it. I think it's a great colorway. There's quite a bit of this. There is, as of the moment I'm filming this, still some of this available, so I will link it for you if it is there. I just think this is good. It's like a good sweatshirt knit. It's not something super flimsy. If you live in colder weather, this is a type of stuff that you want to have and you want to be wearing. Now, another thinner type of sweatshirting I bought is what's labeled as loop back terry. Did they say French terry or just terry? No, French terry. So they called it French terry. I don't know if I would call this French terry. It just seems to be a thinner version of what I just showed you. This one is in a navy. It is slightly see-through if you hold it to the light, but that's just the nature of the weave. This is more of a medium weight, light to medium weight, great drape, as you can see, right? Super nice there. I love navy. I wear it all the time. This also has a loop type of back, so it won't shed lint on your clothes. I'm not sure what this one will become. I was just really smitten with the color and the fact that it was labeled as French terry. I love the idea of French terry. So there's a lot of potential here. I'm just not sure what this would best become. If you've got any ideas for this type of light to medium weight, you let me know, and I'll go and have a look. No big plans for this piece of fabric as of yet. The next three fabrics I have are all brushed cottons and flannels. Now, these were actually some of the first fabrics I bought, and I, at the time, was really looking at making more house dresses. As part of my big idea about elevated basics and everyday luxury, honestly, I would like to stop just wearing the same pair of sweatpants when I'm at home. Like I mentioned before, I have work clothes, general everyday outside clothes, I have indoor clothes, and then I have pajamas. I'd like to kind of revamp my house clothes so that they look a bit cuter and more interesting. So I'm not just wearing the same thing for comfort all the time, and I want something that still felt special and nice, even if I'm just wearing it to sit on the sofa and do my scrapbooking and stuff like that. So with the weather also being freezing, I thought some brushed flannel or flannelette would be just the right thing. Now flannel in itself is actually quite expensive, and I only have one piece that is real flannel and it's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But this is actually a flannel, can't say this 3 times fast, flannelette fabric, which I guess in some regards is a less expensive, slightly different version of what you might consider flannel. Most of the stuff, if you're going to the more affordable, price conscious retailers, they actually use this type of flannel instead of real flannel because it's also cheaper. Like I said, I bought the next 2 from Fabricville, and it's my first time shopping there, but their flannelette is very affordable, like $5 to $10 a meter, and the other stuff is expensive. So I had in mind some house dresses I want to try and recreate for lounging around and staying cozy. So I figured I'd give these ones a try. Now I can hold this up close because it's a lighter color and it won't, hopefully shouldn't mess with the camera too much. I love the colors. They're really pretty. They're still subtle enough to wear all over. They do have that brushed look and texture, and the back is actually like white, right? It's the kind of stuff you would use for flannel pajamas and stuff like that. I'm going to make these into some house dresses. I think something with gatherings and crop sleeves and just something to throw on with your leggings and tights and just feel super cozy when I'm at home. This is not a super wide fabric. I think it's just like 44 inches or so. So I end up with, I want to say I bought either 2.5 or 3 meters for what I intended on sewing. Just really cozy though, would actually make some very nice bedding if you're thinking in that direction. Now this is good because I saw this dress on Pinterest and I was instantly smitten. It had this very large, I want to call it a grid or a window pane print. It was navy as well. I will link the photo down below for you if you want to check it out. And I was hunting high and low for a fabric just like that I can recreate a very similar dress, you know, a house dress. And I found this. This is also flannelette. I think both of these were like $5 a meter or so. So that was great. This does have a bit of fuzz on the front because, well, the underside or the wrong side is white, and the more that you wash it, well, it gets on the front, doesn't it? It's not going to be a big deal. I'm just wearing it inside the house. If I have to lint roll it every time, I will lint roll it. But this is an exact match of the fabric color and the fabric style to the dress that I really want to make. So fingers crossed it works out well. But again, this is flannelette. Okay, last piece here, the real good stuff. This is true flannel, and it is double-sided in the sense that the front, the right side and the wrong side look exactly the same to me. But I believe this is Robert Kaufman Sheetland Collection Herringbone Flannel. That's a mouthful. It's gorgeous. You can tell it's a different weight and has a different body and tactile quality to the flannelette that I bought. I think this might be a tunic of some kind. It was very expensive, so I bought I think 1.5 meters, and I felt like I was really splurging there. I'm not quite sure. It seems so precious, and I love the herringbone style. You know, it's like a chambray, but like a winter type of chambray. So it's a herringbone. It's really gorgeous, and it's got that really cuddly feeling. I can imagine this being a very, very cozy quilt if you use some of this for quilts, but it would also be a very expensive quilt. Nonetheless, I love to get your thoughts on what I can make out of about 1.5 meters of this. This is probably 44 wide. It's not super wide at all. It's quite narrow actually. But isn't this just beautiful? This is probably my newest like prized possession, and I want to be super thoughtful before I cut into this one. Thanks for sticking around till the end of this video. I will link as many of the available fabrics, but at least, you know, the fabric stores down below in the information bar. If you have made it from the beginning of the video all the way to my ending right here, leave a coffee emoji, because that is what I really need right now before dinner. I'm just feeling like a little worn out now that I've talked for so long. Leave me a coffee emoji if you've made it to all the way to the end here. I can't wait to start working with some of these fabrics, and I also can't wait to show you what some of them turn out to be. None of these are going to be super fancy or fussy, but sometimes, especially right now, all you need are your everyday kind of elevated basics, the nice stuff, but the nice stuff for, you know, enjoying day to day. I hope you have a wonderful day of your own wherever that you are, and I will see you very soon over here on YouTube. But if you are looking to connect on the fly, I am pretty much always on Instagram, so you can find me there as well. Until next time, see you soon. Take care. Bye.